Welcome to Channel Japan. I'm Maki Arai.
And I'm Makiko Tsuda.
Every week we bring you the freshest information out of Japan from our studio here in Tokyo.
From the economy to culture and even foods, if you want to find out what's happening in Japan right now, this is where you'll find it.
So these are our topics for today.
In Executive Insight, an interview with a global company that began as a small workshop.
In Project Japan, a report from the Nikkei online edition about services to help you use time more efficiently.
From World Business Satellite, restaurants that are opening up the world of Japanese food by making meals halal and kosher.
And also from World Business Satellite, selling cars out of a cafe, automakers test drive a new marketing tactic. So let's get started. First up is Executive Insight.
Yes, now, first of all, if you can take a look at this map over here, it's Ota Ward, which is one of the 23 wards of Tokyo that's located in the south of the city.
There are many circles on the map, so what are they?
It's actually a map that shows the locations of factories and workshops in the area, and Ota Ward is known as a center of manufacturing in Tokyo.
I've walked around the neighborhood several times, and there are definitely small workshops everywhere you look. So how many are there?
Well, it's said about 4,000.
That many?
Yes.
So what kind of things do they make?
Well, finished products like digital cameras and game machines, but that's not all. In fact, most are subcontractors specializing in grinding, polishing, shaping and processing metal materials, and many have between 1 and 9 employees, and 80% of manufacturing in the area is done by these small workshops.
I understand that the company we'll be introducing today also has its roots in Ota Ward.
Yes, you're right. The company is Alps Electric, which is an electronic component maker founded in 1948.
And they also started off as a small workshop.
Exactly. At the time of their establishment, they had just 23 employees making a component for radios called a rotary switch, which we have a picture of over here.
Well, it's not widely known, I guess, but I've heard that their products are found in a variety of things that we use every day.
Yes, that's right. And currently they supply about 40,000 types of components to 2,000 companies around the world. And for example, if you have a car or a smartphone, chances are there are several Alps products inside.
It's really hard to imagine, but I guess I understand.
Yes. And we recently spoke with the president, Toshihiro Kuriyama, about the rapidly changing market for electronic components. So take a look.
Executive Insight. Ota Ward, Tokyo. This area, with numerous small factories and workshops, gave birth to a certain component maker 66 years ago. At the time, the company was called Kataoka Electric and had just 23 employees. Initially, they manufactured parts for radios in a single-story wooden structure. Over the years, they expanded their business, becoming a multinational corporation with annual sales of nearly $6.8 billion. That company is Alps Electric. Electronic components are seen as one of Japan's most promising industries. The company president explains what they are doing to seek out new avenues of growth.
As an electronic components maker, how do you see the domestic and international markets right now?
Our business is largely divided into the consumer use and automobile use markets. In the consumer field, digital appliances are becoming commoditized, pressuring our business. We are constantly working on reducing the lead time for product development as well as for starting mass production. To do that, we need to set up a platform, a base to standardize processes. You have to remember the final product is different for each customer. Another issue is that we need people to make our products, and it's becoming difficult to find people, even in China. We are putting effort into manufacturing technologies to increase automation now. This is where we display our new products as well as core products.
So what are the company's core products? These switches are indispensable for electronic devices. A compact switch called a tact switch has the basic function of allowing electricity to pass when pushed. There are various products for a wide range of fields, including home appliances, office equipment, and industrial equipment. The company offers about 1,000 different types of tact switches. They are the world's biggest manufacturer of this component, with total production volume of 150 billion units to date. They also boast leading technologies in the field of sensors. This is one of the most advanced, a digital barometric sensor that can detect differences in altitude of 50 centimeters. At just 2.5 square millimeters in diameter, it has been instrumental in allowing digital devices to become more compact and thinner.
When using a computer, you usually use a mouse on a mouse pad. This is the same idea. It's a touchpad that uses static electricity for input. On a car navigation system, you use your finger to input the destination. You can write the alphabet, and for our China-bound products, you can write Chinese characters. This is a product for cars. We adopted the touch input technology used for computers and smartphones in our technology for cars.
While business conditions remain tough in the consumer market, there's one bright spot: smartphones.
Smartphones are a field that's rapidly growing. We see that as a big opportunity. But there is also a risk that smartphones will become commoditized after several years. What's more, competition is growing from rivals in emerging markets and China. So, a major challenge for us is how to turn high value-added products into a business. When you look at the situation now, including smartphones in emerging markets, there's a trend of working with manufacturers who can offer a stable supply of high-quality components, especially Japanese firms. I believe that's an opportunity for us as well as other Japanese component makers.
Smartphones are one product embedded with many of the company's high-end components.
Many consumers now use their smartphones because they have good displays and cameras. So, better quality images are required of the camera. We make a component called an actuator for the autofocus function of cameras. That's an area that's growing exceptionally well. They were first used in high-end smartphones, but now many lower-end phones are starting to use them as well. I believe our products will gain recognition and that our business will continue to expand. It says voice coil motor here. There are several lenses, less than a centimeter thick each, stacked together that move to adjust the focus. The actuator is used for that purpose.
Is this the actuator?
Actuators were developed for the autofocus cameras of smartphones. This product combines optical lenses, filters, sensors, and numerous other components. It is indispensable for the camera function of smartphones, which are becoming increasingly sophisticated.
We manufacture this by machine. We're the only ones that have such equipment. Our rivals in China and Japan have to do it manually. So they're not able to handle sudden additional orders in the millions of units or ensure consistent quality. That's why we, including the quality of our products, have gained a good reputation.
So your production system is also highly trusted.
Another area where the company's products are expanding into is cars. They boast an extensive track record of developing and supplying numerous car-related components.
Car makers are focusing on development and technological innovation in the three areas of safety, convenience, and the environment, much more than on production increases. So there's been an extremely big push toward electronics. As an industry, we believe there's a very big opportunity.
Car components are your core business. What are you doing in this area?
We originally began by making various control input components around the driver's seat so that the driver can control various functions. such as the power window switch and the aircon switch. Those functions together are being called human-machine interface. We've started making components for every aspect of driving that is connected to the driver. Cars are relying more on electronics now, with things like electronic gear shifts and parking brakes. Our products are being used in those areas.
CTEC Japan is one of Asia's biggest IT and electronics exhibitions. A demonstration was held of a car of the future proposed by Alps Electric. This is called an epistemic cockpit, the company's vision of the driver's seat. When seated, sensors detect the driver's line of sight. They help to determine in advance what action the driver will take and assist in controlling onboard devices. When the driver's eyes veer away from the road, an alarm goes off as a warning. The seat is equipped with contactless sensors that monitor the driver's breathing and heart rate. There are various features to minimize the possibility of collisions and contribute to safe driving. These concepts and the products used in them were all developed in-house. The company plans to propose such ideas to car makers.
You operate around the world, but are you focusing on any particular countries or regions?
Car makers have been asking us to set up manufacturing plants in emerging markets, the BRICS countries. Right now, we have operations in ASEAN, China, Europe, the US, and Mexico. And we're planning to set up small-scale plants next in India and Brazil. That will be our next challenge.
Electronic devices are becoming more compact, thinner, and multifunctional. This trend is being driven by the massive efforts of component makers.
This is the Alps Museum. We are aiming for the future, but here we display products throughout our history to encourage people to think about the future.
So these are all the products you've developed until now.
The shiny gold product is a 5.25-inch floppy disk drive. In fact, we made all the floppy disk drives for the very first Apple computer that became a hit. I joined this company in 1980, and my very first job was working on a product called the floppy head inside here.
The museum showcases the history of the company's challenges. One of them is the first mouse developed in Japan in collaboration with Microsoft. This is a keyboard of an electronic calculator. The technologies acquired in its development eventually contributed to their work on takt switches. Touch panels were first adopted in a US-made luxury car in 1986. They were also made by Alps Electric.
It started with radios, then TVs and video machines, computers, cars, and now smartphones. As technologies evolve, so too have our products. But the foundation is still radio tuners and switches, things you control with your hand. That's our origin.
So how does the company see products evolving over the next generation?
You're focusing on new areas now, such as the environment, healthcare, and energy. Will you be developing new technologies?
Of course, to a certain extent, there are technologies that need improvement. In our development work, I call it diffusion. We want to spread out our technologies and products continuously and continually into new markets. So, for example, rather than making batteries or health equipment, We already have human-machine interface, communications and sensor technologies, and other products. We believe there are plenty of applications in the energy or healthcare field. That's what I'm calling diffusion. That's our foundation.
So you want to widen the base.
If you try to do something you've never done, you might succeed. You might be able to make a product, but it won't necessarily be one that's competitive.
Even with a commanding share of the global market, Alps Electric continues to sharpen its technological edge.
The view is almost like peering down on the star-filled night sky at your feet. It's the city at night seen from a height of 450 meters. Make unforgettable memories. City light stretching for as far as the eye can see. Find it at Tokyo Skytree.
Man, look at all these cars.
Hey, have you heard, by the way? The Japanese company Kobelco is working to make the world's cars lighter.
So what does that mean?
Kobelco is using aluminum and steel technologies to make car parts and bodies lighter around the world.
Ah, Japanese technology. The country of karate. Ha! Ha! Ha!
Why do we always do that?
I don't know.
The talk of the world. Kobelco.
Panasonic Ultra High Resolution 4K, extending the frontiers of TV.
Vamos lá.
Allowing passions to flow, values to converge, enhancing imagination. Places abloom with captivating images, bring a new kind of connection to people's lives. Panasonic 4K solutions. Break the boundaries.
Panasonic.
You're watching Channel Japan. Up next in Project Japan, we have a video report from the Nikkei online edition. Our topic today is time-saving services.
Yes, now I'm sure anyone has had days when they wish they had more time to finish all that they needed to do, but Araisa, is there anything in your daily life that you wish you could do quicker?
Well, there are a lot. There are many, but for example, when I'm extremely tired and extremely hungry, I just wish I could cook in, like a minute.
A minute, that's what I would think too, yes, and often. And like you said, household chores are one thing that I imagine a lot of people wish they could spend less time on. And according to a survey of about 700 women between the ages of 20 and 60, 90% said exactly that they would wish to spend less time on household chores. And specifically, about 60% of respondents said that they want to shorten the time spent on cooking, which we have over here on a list, followed by cleaning, laundry, and then shopping.
Well, with the prevalence of dishwashing machines and vacuuming robots, I'd expect people to be spending less time on household chores.
That's what I thought too, but that seems not to be the case because according to a survey by the government, Japanese women spent an average of 2 hours and 32 minutes on household chores in 2011, which is only 5 minutes shorter than what it used to take in 1996. So this time we put the spotlight on services and products that help save time.
The Project Japan. Fast Nail is a nail salon that operates 30 branches, mainly in central Tokyo. They specialize in gel nails, which use a gel-based solution that solidifies with ultraviolet light and are more durable than a regular manicure. The process is said to take as quick as 30 minutes, about half or a third the time needed for a regular nail treatment.
This salon, they use a computer, and the customer chooses from the numerous designs they offer.
Entering the store, there are several computers. Customers use them to decide on the designs they want. There are about 400,000 different combinations of colors and designs. Prices are based on a flat rate, 7-tier system. The most inexpensive course is about $30, lower than the market price.
Thank you for waiting.
It's the design I chose on the computer.
Once a design is chosen, the image and a materials list are printed out. The staff use the list to prepare the necessary items first, saving them time from moving about the store and allowing the work to be carried out efficiently.
I'm going to put a little pressure. Does it hurt?
To make sure that they can handle any design, the entire staff undergoes a month of training. They practice repeatedly so that the time needed and the finish is the same for each person.
Do they teach you how to put the manicure on as well?
They teach us how many coats to put on and how to create the gradation.
This tool set was specially developed by the company to speed up their work. The box contains about 20 different tools, such as brushes and files, each with a designated compartment. By requiring all stores to use the same box, they say efficiency is maintained even if the staff are relocated.
The position of the files, brushes, and other tools is set, so I don't have to waste time looking for them. And it's the same at every branch.
The manicure is completed in about 25 minutes.
The flower design came out nicely.
We spoke with a first-time customer.
It took only about 20 minutes. At other places, it usually takes 1 or 2 hours, so I was surprised.
Their know-how in offering such quick service is actually derived from fast food restaurants. The company's first president, who once worked at a major hamburger chain, incorporated their methods of store planning and work efficiency.
Fast food restaurants have high school students working part-time, so they use an easy-to-understand system. We put a lot of effort in areas such as the development of the toolbox and the arrangement of materials in one place to reduce unnecessary movement as much as possible.
Now, this is a makeup salon, and looking at their menu, it says you can have your makeup done in 10 minutes. So what kind of service is it? Let's go take a look. はじめまして、今日はよろしくお願いいたします。
Atelier Haruka operates a nationwide chain of makeup and hair salons. Customers can get a professional makeover in as quick as 10 minutes, starting at about $15. So how good is a 10-minute session? We asked a model to try it out.
In the limited amount of time we have, we ask the customer what she wants the most, such as changing the look of her eyes or lips. And that's what we work on.
The staff begins applying makeup according to our model's request for a cute look.
The trend now is to bring out the eyes by working with the eyelashes rather than applying a lot of eyeliner. I'm going to curl up your eyelashes to open up the eyes.
In about 10 minutes after starting, the quick makeup session is over. They say by just concentrating on the eye area, the impression of the entire face can change.
Anyone can do this if there's a lot of time. We train every day to do it in 10 minutes.
The ability to apply makeup in 10 minutes comes from the staff's experience. They say daily practice allows them to look at a customer's face and immediately know what kind of makeup will look best. The junior staff watch intently as the manager works to learn her techniques.
I look at the customer's facial outline to figure out the best application. We also make it a point to ask them the purpose, where she's planning to go afterwards. We want to make sure that the makeup matches the occasion. Going to a beauty salon can take up a lot of your time. Sometimes when they apply the makeup, it might be too heavy or too flashy. Our aim is to offer a service that customers can use casually, so if they are planning to go out after work, they can look good.
This is another type of time-saving service. The company offers fresh food items that are prepared and packaged so that a homemade meal can be completed in under 10 minutes.
Smart Kitchen is an internet food delivery service offered by Lawson. A big focus has been quick foods that can be prepared in 10 minutes. Each product comes with packages of ingredients and seasonings to make 2 or 3 portions.
I'm going to try making a traditional stew. I see many types of vegetables.
The package actually contains 7 types of vegetables and chicken. They've already been prepped, so once the sauce is added and then left to simmer for a few minutes, it's ready to eat. There's no need for a cutting board.
The stew is ready. It really only took 10 minutes and it wasn't difficult at all.
The section that develops these 10-minute cooking kits regularly holds taste testings of new products. Taking part are women employees, many with children.
We have 5 samples for you to try out.
On this day, the menu consists of a chicken egg rice bowl, Thai-style curry, and other dishes.
The first is a kit for a tuna rice bowl with a thick vegetable sauce. I wanted to create something using fish.
The tuna is thick, so it looks difficult to heat.
How about cutting it then?
Too much of a hassle. I don't want to have to wash the cutting board after. Kits would come in handy for dishes difficult to cook at home, fried foods, or those that need difficult-to-get ingredients.
They offer 30 types of dishes, including those created in collaboration with well-known restaurants, with the menu refreshed regularly.
More women are working, and they're looking for a way to balance work and home life. If dinner involves a bit of cooking, rather than just popping things in the microwave, then they won't feel like they're slacking off. That's the purpose of our kits.
And there are so many things that you can do in just 10 minutes.
I know there are, aren't they? And while all of those services are about saving as much time as possible, they don't seem to compromise in terms of quality either.
So is this a market that's expected to grow?
Well, actually, there isn't any concrete data, but the people who were interviewed for this piece were all complaining about being pressed for time, going to work, plus taking care of their families. So I'm sure there's a big demand for time-saving services and products. And another example is time-saving life-saving cosmetics, which I'm sure you've heard about.
I have. There are a lot of all-in-one products now, such as toners combined with moisturizers. And they're really convenient when you have to rush out of the door in the morning.
Yes, I agree. And another product that seems to be gaining popularity is laundry detergent, which they say reduces washing time by half.
So that would help save electricity and water as well. So I'm sure we'll be seeing more of these products and services in the future. And when we come back, we have a report from World Business Satellite.
Mitsui & Company.
For the glorious future, leading the world in service and technology, from Japan to the world. East Japan Railway Company.
Mitsubishi Electric is helping to change the environment for the better around the world.
Green subway systems in India.
Green solar power systems in Singapore.
Sistem AC ramah lingkungan di Indonesia.
Eco changes for a greener tomorrow. Mitsubishi Electric.
Asia, the engine of the global economy. Japan, a regional powerhouse. And now, direct from Japan, economic news with a global impact in Chinese, delivered by Nikkei. Read the future, lead the economy. Nikkei, Japan's leading media for business.
You're watching Channel Japan. Next, we have a report from TV Tokyo's World Business Satellite. So, Utsuya-san, what's the topic this time?
Yes, now we turn to food. As Japan courts more tourists from abroad, it's becoming ever more important to make sure that restaurants and other facilities offer food in accordance with religious customs and in consideration of allergies that people might have to certain ingredients. And we have a report on some of these new initiatives in the food service industry, so take a look.
Yame, Fukuoka Prefecture. This area is known for producing high-end Yame tea. A man dressed in black walks through a tea farm.
And when is this the second time now, the next time they going to do?
In early June.
He is Rabbi Binyomin Ederi. He looks at the tea leaves one by one.
They take care of the tree very nice.
Oh, I see.
Rabbi Ederi has come here to inspect the production process of an established tea maker, Koga Seicha Honpo. He puts on a cap and enters the factory. He watches how the tea is processed from start to finish. This is their main product, sencha. Printed on the package are the words Kosher Japan. Kosher means conforming to Jewish dietary laws. Rabbi Ederi is the head of the Chabad House of Japan, an organization that issues kosher certification. Jewish dietary law prohibits the eating of insects, and he's on the lookout for any signs of them.
For kosher, usually, most of people, they want to trust. If someone come and see that this is the process, how it's made, for kosher reason.
After receiving certification, the company plans to begin selling its products at Costco stores and eventually shipping them overseas.
The kosher logo is highly trusted overseas. So, I believe customers abroad will be able to purchase our products with peace of mind.
This is Rabbi Ederi's base of operations, the Chabad House of Japan. Together with his wife in Tokyo, he supplies kosher foods to Jewish residents and visitors. The service they offer is a kosher lunchbox service. On this day, the main ingredient is grilled salmon.
Shrimp, octopus, fish without scales and fins.
Under Jewish dietary law, fish with scales and fins such as salmon, tuna, and mackerel are allowed. For meat, chicken, beef, and mutton can be eaten, while pork is prohibited. A lunchbox of either meat or fish. The price is $80 each, including delivery. Once loaded into a car, they drive to Tokyo Midtown. This is the Ritz-Carlton Tokyo, a high-end hotel. The lunchboxes are handed to a regular customer, a man from France.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you for. Before I was very afraid to go in Japan because I think they're not kosher food. I travel a lot. I make business in all cities, and to have this kind of food, it's a very important thing for me.
I see. On this day, they also make deliveries to customers at the Park Hyatt Tokyo and Imperial Hotel.
This is great.
Kosher foods are starting to appear in other places as well. This is a supermarket in Minami Azabu, Tokyo, where 70% of the customers are non-Japanese. Many products have a kosher logo. This U mark is also one of them. Major international food makers, such as Coca-Cola, are certified to sell kosher foods.
Customers come wanting to know where the kosher foods are. So, we put the mark on the tags so they're easier to find.
Behind this move is the growing number of non-Jewish customers interested in buying kosher foods.
Kosher foods have gained a reputation of being healthy and safe among regular customers, and the market is expanding. In the U.S., it's already a $10 billion market, and some studies have shown it's growing by 15% every year.
Interest in kosher certification grew with the spread of halal, foods conforming to Islamic dietary law. New moves are being seen in this segment as well. On a recent weekend, several Muslims were gathered for a meal. The table is lined with Japanese dishes, such as chirashi sushi and tempura.
My favorite is mushroom tempura.
I enjoyed the egg custard the most.
This is a taste testing not of traditional Muslim foods, but halal-certified Japanese dishes. Many Japanese ingredients have received halal certification in recent years, making it possible to cook traditional Japanese foods without compromising on the taste. The restaurant wants to draw in more Muslim customers.
Muslims we talk to all say they want to eat Japanese food, so we decided to start with a market where demand is the highest.
Major soba shop chain Fuji Soba is also developing a halal menu. This is their kitchen. Curry, an item not on their regular menu, is being cooked in a frying pan.
Pakistan-style curry soba.
The first offering on their halal menu will be launched soon. The spicy taste is the main characteristic. The chain plans to expand its halal offerings and expects more than 60% of its branches to have about 5 halal dishes by the Olympic Games in Tokyo in 2020.
Our goal is to get more people from overseas to try soba, which is central to Japanese food culture.
Removing obstacles to the enjoyment of Japanese food is not limited to religion. This is the restaurant section of Kansai International Airport. On the menu of beef bowl chain Sukiya, unusual symbols. They're also on the menu of a takoyaki restaurant. A non-Japanese customer appears to be looking at them while deciding on what to order.
The symbols do help understand what the ingredients are because a lot of the dishes look the same.
These symbols are being referred to as food pictograms and indicate the ingredients used. They were developed by Interna Shokunoru, a non-profit organization. The aim?
We've designed symbols for 14 ingredients for people who can't eat in certain foods because of religious reasons or allergies.
The symbols have also been designed for Hindus and vegetarians and are used at about 30 hotels nationwide. What's more,
the food pictograms will also be adopted here at Narita Airport.
Food pictograms will be introduced at airport restaurants starting in July. The Tokyo Metropolitan Government also plans to adopt the symbols on its website this fiscal year to help food establishments create menus conforming to the dietary customs of different religions.
Our aim is to make this a de facto standard in Japan and eventually the world.
With the influx of overseas tourists ahead of the 2020 Olympics, the restaurant industry will need to ensure that everyone can enjoy a bite of genuine Japanese food.
Well, if the services we saw become more widespread, I'm sure more people will be willing to visit Japan.
Yes, I agree. And these moves are important not only to get tourists to try out Japanese food, but ultimately will help in expanding Japanese food culture abroad.
That seems to be a good point. And moving on, what's our next topic?
Next, it's new car sales. And if you can take a look at this graph over here, it shows new car sales in Japan during the past decade.
Well, they've been pretty steady in recent years, but the forecast for this year seems to show a slight draw.
Yes, you're right. And according to the Japan Automobile Manufacturers Association, new car sales are expected to fall nearly 17% to 4.75 million units. And amid all of this, dealerships are coming up with novel ways to drive sales. So take a look.
Aeon Mall in central Wakayama City. This March, a new cafe was opened here where shoppers stop by before going home. But it's more than just a place to have coffee or tea.
It's good.
On the menu are sandwiches, seasonal fruits, and confectionaries. Nothing out of the ordinary. What's different is this, a logo on the plate. This is actually a cafe inside a dealership for Mercedes-Benz cars. A customer who was just talking about the food with a staff member.
I'd like to see the CLA class.
Thank you.
He appears to have taken an interest in the car displayed in front of him.
Please have a look inside.
It's not overly big.
The price is not that high either.
It's easier to walk into a dealership like this where they have drinks and food. I can bring along the family as well.
On the floor are the A class, starting from about $30,000. And the B class, only compact models. By stocking cars in a price range matching the segment of customers who shop at the mall, the dealership says it moves an average of 5 vehicles a month. What's more, most are first-time buyers of this brand. At other dealerships, they make up less than 10% of customers.
Customers who've never visited our other dealerships come to this branch and in many cases often end up purchasing a car.
The automaker says the average age of owners used to be the mid-40s. But in recent years, that has risen to the early 50s. And with the aging population, more people no longer drive. Reaching out to first-time customers is crucial to growing the business. Early May, Mercedes-Benz unveiled a new showroom at Midtown in Roppongi, Tokyo. It's just after opening, but there's already a long line. But why?
Because I like popcorn.
The reason? Popcorn that people need to line up for 2 hours to buy in Harajuku. On sale are snacks made from that popcorn, pizza, and other foods only sold here. Their strategy is to offer limited products of popular shops to net new customers.
This is a good way for people who didn't know about Benz to get to know the brand better. I think I might buy a car here. My next car. We want our logo to pop up in their heads the next time they go out to buy a car. Our aim is to generate interest. We want to continue using tactics like this to draw in customers.
According to the Japan Automobile Dealers Association, new car sales totaled 345,000 units in April. The pullback from a buying spree prior to the consumption tax hike dragged down sales by 5.5% from the previous year. To stem the slide, car makers have been taking aggressive steps to capture new customers. Domestic brands are no exception. At this showroom, displayed near the entrance, are not cars, but a variety of everyday goods. From collapsible umbrellas and shoes to car-related items, such as steering wheel and seat covers. There are also one-of-a-kind products designed in collaboration with home furnishing chain Frank Frank, which they say is popular with young women. The dealership carried out a massive renovation recently, putting such goods front and center. On this day, a meeting is being held on the first new car announcement since the consumption tax hike. Emi Sato is in charge of this all-women team.
How should we decorate it?
In front of Ms. Sato are the goods displayed in the store. The idea is to use them to decorate the new car. The event is in 3 days. The work begins.
Look for some cute items, pink, or maybe something more adult.
Everything is done by trial and error.
It looks cute with the cushions. Why not put a bag there?
They go with a flower pattern to appeal to women and to brighten up the interior. Typically, the accessories are kept to a minimum to keep the original decor. But this time, they've gone out of their way to almost hide it.
I think the flower pattern adds character to the car and would appeal to women. By proposing designs, I believe we'll be able to reach out to the customer.
It's the day of the announcement. Soon after opening, a Swedish family living in the neighborhood arrives. They say they decided to drop in for the first time after seeing the variety of goods on display.
Feel free to browse. This is cute. The mirrors and steering wheel are different. Spring-like.
Their strategy is on target. The items appear to have lured the family in.
A nice interior will draw me in. And if there's a car, I'll notice it. Then I might start thinking of buying it.
The discussions go smoothly, and a new car rolls off the lot. Until recently, the dealership relied on existing customers to drive new car sales by calling them before mandatory inspections to recommend a replacement. But with sales struggling, they decided to use accessories to target first-time women buyers.
A big benchmark is how many uncommitted customers we can win over. Using this showroom, we want to seek out new customers and revive our sales.
How to capture first-time customers. Competition is intensifying among dealerships as they tune up their showrooms and drive closer to the consumer.
So it was interesting to see the different ways that dealerships are trying to attract customers.
Yes, it was, wasn't it? Now, companies that deal in more expensive imported cars typically have a difficult time drawing in customers, but setting up shop in shopping malls where there are lots of families appears to have been quite effective.
And that brings us to the end of this edition of Channel Japan. We have much more in store for you, so join us again next week.
Wouldn't it be wonderful if we could do this? We make things like this possible through the power of chemistry. We're the Kaiteki Company, Mitsubishi Chemical Holdings.
SMBC Sumitomo Mitsui Banking Corporation.
Myanmar. Red. United. 세가의 조선. Passion. Spirit.次のプレミアムフィールドへ。
Sasuke, a new type of sports entertainment program conquering the world.
It's about human achievement and people's passions, and I think that relates to almost everybody.
From Japan to the world, Ninja Warrior, Tokyo Broadcasting System.